Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to press the go live button. Right, so everything we've just said, J-Horse, for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes has been completely and utterly useless.
You've just realised, yeah?
Yeah, I've just realised.
Brilliant.
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 Yeah, I pressed the start streaming button on OBS. That was working, and I could see the picture up in YouTube Studio, but that little go live button was still there and not end stream. I didn't notice that bit.
We on stream now?
Yeah, we are now streaming. Yeah, we are now actually live.
Okay, I'll get out of here then.
We can hear a very loud Mr. Cookie.
Oh yeah, hi.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's alright, mate. And he's gone.
Should we start this all again?
Yeah, we gave some very interesting insight that you will all have missed, and I can safely say that Rick did not set a purple first and second sector, as he has put it in fourth with an 8-2, which is actually behind our Rhensn.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to pick up a little bit of pace, as I'll let you start the entire stream all over again.
Right, let's do this. Okay, so we still have 10 minutes of qualifying, but most people are coming in to, get themselves ready to go for their second lap. So we've got a little bit of a moment where I can actually talk, which is ideal. Talking constructors, as I mentioned, AlphaTauri absolutely blitzed the field. It's 481 points for them, 332 for second place McLaren. However, Williams with 330 in P3, that's a nice little fight for P2 there. Keep your eye on that. But let's be honest here, it is the driver standings where we're most concentrated. Lifebout 281, Rick 277, our rhensn 260. All three can still win the championship. Obviously, Lifebout and Rick, slightly more likely. In fact, by the amazing Rick himself, he made this, if I can just pop it up. Here it is. Look at this. This is an entire list of everything that needs to happen for each driver to win. So, positions on the left-hand side indicates lifebouts. So if Lifebout wins, he's champ. If Lifebout picks up P2, it can still be challenged. So I'm going to have to keep my eye on this as we see different things change throughout the race, because it involves poles, it involves fastest laps, because obviously they do pick up points here in BRL. Other than that, I think that's about most of it covered. Whilst I was streaming but not streaming, we also had one of a blisteringly fast lap, to be honest, from Mr. Cookie, which we thought wasn't really going to be beaten, and then all of a sudden Lifebout went and put it 0.139 seconds faster, and is currently 3/4 of a second faster than his biggest championship rival, Rick.
Indeed, although Mr. Cookie has just set the fastest first sector, try to say that 4 times. He has gone and he spun. So beautiful commentator's curse from me, so apologies to Mr. Cookie. But yeah, as you were saying, Rick down in P6, so this is pretty crucial for him that he is going to need to get, I'm going to say, onto the front row, because there's only 11 of us, or 11 of them, and the chances of a safety car are pretty low with that many people. So he's going to need to be up there and fighting for the win, especially if Lifebout is going to get pole, which is looking likely that he will do. And I think he is on a lap now, although it's not looking like a very quick one. So I imagine he'll come into the pits.
YouTube is so annoying. I changed the thumbnail from last week, 2 weeks ago, and it just didn't change it. So currently, if you look on the YouTube site, it currently says we're going to Abu Dhabi round 13. We're not. As you can tell, this is very much not Abu Dhabi, but other than that...
Other than that, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything has been fine the whole time. Definitely.
You know when you said in the chat, what can possibly go wrong?
Yeah, everything, apparently.
Oh, you didn't mean everything, did you? Ooh. And Lifebout looks like he's on a lap, but I don't think he went faster than his best time. So I think he's already done a run or a couple of laps even on these set of tyres even. So probably not the freshest, but we'll see what he can do. Because currently he is sitting very pretty. Pick up that, and he's gone a tenth, basically a tenth and a half quicker. That is rapid. Excuse my language. This guy has some insane pace at the moment. and he is looking like he is indeed, like he's going to come across the line and set a 1.793, even 3.9, so he pulls even further clear.
That is, that's a ridiculous time. So
It's an insane time.
A quarter of a second to Mr. Cookie, half a second to Lizzie, who's really hoping to not pick up a DNF hit, because that'll be his third DNF in Brazil in MRLS, and then 8/10 back to rhensn in P4.
Yeah, he is looking very quick, and he is a good, almost a second quicker than his championship rival at the moment, or his main championship rival, who is coming up to the first sector and has got a 10.5 quicker. So is looking better, but not good enough currently to pit Lifebout to pole. A pretty crucial pole, as I don't know if we said on stream or not, but it is a pretty crucial pole at this stage of the championship. So I'll stay on board with him and see what he can do, as he's going to really want to push to get himself at least up into the top 3 at the moment, because he's still got a pretty much a 3/10 gap to Lizzie in the Red Bull in P3.
Yeah, well, hi Smithy, how you doing? Rick is bottling a little bit here, I cannot lie. Might just not be one of his tracks, however, I would be correct in saying if we are level on points, the title goes to... no. Yeah, if we're level on points, it goes to Lifebout. If Rick wins and we're still level on points, I think it goes to Rick because he's had more P2s. So you know how we've constantly been saying, oh, Rick can't pick up a win, he constantly picks up P2s. But it can actually work in his favour.
It could indeed. His Lifebout only picked up, what's that? It would have been three wins.
I was reading this must have been a couple of days ago in commentator's chat, because that is literally what commentator's chat has been about the last sort of who knows how long. It's just been constantly us questioning stuff.
As Mr. Cookie looks like he's coming, and he's set to 2 minutes, so maybe not the lap he was after. But no, that is a surprising one. It's not been a very dominant BRL season, has it? It's been a very fun one, actually.
Do you know, it's been fun, and there's been more than one driver that is going for the title, because I couldn't possibly think what happened the last.
I can't remember either. I wasn't there. It definitely wasn't me. But yeah, no, I said at the start of the season that I was pretty glad I wasn't going to be there, because it was going to make a very interesting championship fight, and look what happened. We got 3 in contention for the last race. Rhensn is going to want to pick up pace a little bit down in P6, which is in the bottom half of the field, isn't it? So God, yeah, that lack of drivers is really not going to work in a favour of anyone who doesn't have a great qualifying.
No, it's going to be close. And I mean, if we ignore Mr. Cookie and Lifebout from this, qualifying down to Smithy is really close. Between Lizzie and Smithy, we're only talking 8/10 of a second. We're only talking 3/10 of a second down to that sim guy. So that midfield pack between P3 and 7 is going to be really competitive. And if Rick can't break out of that and join Lifebout and Mr. Cookie up at the front early on in the race, then it's going to be really difficult. Unless Lifebout makes a big mistake, Rick's going to really be in it here.
Yeah, that being said, I probably would expect Rick to put it in P3. I know he can go at least, I'd say, 2/10 quicker than the lap he's done at the moment, and I'm not sure. I think Lizzie probably could, but if I was going to put my money on it, it would be Rick in P3, which puts him still in a pretty decent position for the race. But yeah, don't count out that sim guy as well. We all know how extremely quick he can be on his day. Maybe not showing it at the moment, but could pull up a lap and jump in front of one of the title rivals. But rhensn, yeah, as I said, really going to want to put in a very good lap here, as he has pretty much two people ahead of him that he would definitely not want in Lizzie and Hazard, because that is an obstacle in the race that he's not going to want to overcome.
Yeah, well, I was just checking the YouTube chat, and by the looks of it, Rick is calling that he has a slow setup on, designed just for the race. So, is this a matter? Well, what? That's helpful to know that he's going for race pace rather than qualifying pace, because that means, you know, he might be able to turn this around in the race. However, what doesn't worry me is, well, what's Lifebout got on? Because if Lifebout's got a qualifying setup on, then that makes sense. But if Lifebout's got a race setup on, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, I would say from personal experience in this game, there isn't a whole lot of difference between a race setup and a qualifying setup. I don't think you can set up your car so that you're going to be 5 tenths quicker in the race compared to 5 tenths slower in qualifying. That's just not really how the setup works. But you know, if Rick's found something that has given him a super quick, whatever it is, race pace, then fair play to him. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one, because especially considering he needs that pole, really, and Lifebout cannot get that pole for him. It's a strange decision, although maybe he's thinking he's given up on the pole already and is going for the race all out. To wait and see what happens, and obviously maybe a bit more stable if he's talking about, and the rain potentially coming in the race, as they were saying, then maybe that might help him out. But it's going to be an interesting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, Lifebout, I believe at the moment, is on a lap. As there we go, qualifying is done. It's actually a pretty quick qualifying. This has gone through. But Lifebout is going to come up and finish his lap within the next sort of 30 seconds or so. Here you go, crossing sector 2, and it's just under a 1/10 of a second faster through sector 1 and sector 2. Sector 3 is obviously just that one braking zone, so it's all about nailing just that and the gear changes down towards the line. How much of an improvement is it going to be? Across the line he goes. It's 107.215, nearly half a second quicker than Cookie. Here comes Izzy. Let's see what sort of time he can put on the board with his teammate just behind. He slows down for it. Tommy then finishes up, and I believe it's just Rick to go, who, by the looks of it, going through the end of sector 2 there, was down on his tyres. He's going slower.
10th and a half down. So yeah, bit of a...
And into the pits. So there we go.
Definitely not the qualifying he would have wanted. And even rhensn's ahead of him. So that is not, not what he would have wanted.
Lifebout is nothing short of over the moon. That is his personal best. That is.
I'm not surprised. That's
I mean,
fucking rapid time.
That is unbelievably fast.
Yeah. So what's that? Over 4 tenths quicker than anyone else behind him.
Yeah.
So, if you needed a championship favourite, you are looking at the money. I can't speak very well today, Carter. I'm a bit of a mare. You're looking at the moment. Yeah, there we go. And are we even surprised that Lifebout got pole at this point?
I mean, Lifebout is a very, very good qualifier. We've seen that throughout. We know that he's very, very quick, but that's a level of fast I haven't seen since last season, really, when you would do your little thing. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't do that. That's an insane lap. I definitely could not get anywhere near that. So yeah, fair play to him. It's very good. As Rick and rhensn are arguing in chat. So if you needed a demonstration of how the pressure's getting to certain people, then look no further than the BRL chat.
And I was just saying, Elizzy and rhensn split by 0.02 of a second on the second row there.
Yeah,
So those two could be very competitive.
Rick only 7,000 back from I think it was rhensn. So yeah. As I said, I think they're unlikely to be a safety car. So no. Rick is going to have a mega start if he wants any chance of staying with it. And let's not forget that Lifebout can come basically P3 as long as Rick doesn't get the
heavy rain.
Heavy rain.
That's full wets, surely.
Interesting. Okay, so now I kind of might get what Rick is talking about. Because if it's heavy rain and Lifebout has put in that
Lifebout's not happy
with a dry setup. Yeah. Yeah. Madrid have scored as well. Fuck.
Lifebout
not
is
a good time. Not a good time.
hoping for a restart. Rick
Yeah, we're
is,
not getting
Rick
a
is good
restart.
luck. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Let's
Very,
get going.
very interesting.
It's a full wet start. There we go. There's Lifebout, the man that really isn't happy to be here right now. Mr. Cookie's called for everyone to watch out for him, so he's obviously a little bit nervous going into this heavy rain, as Lifebout's already streaking away from the rest of the pack. Interesting move from him, but there you go. There's Rick in P5. Hopefully his setup is geared more towards the wet weather.
That being said, I mean, we know if it is going to get dry, or is it just going to stay?
I don't know.
Stay wet the entire
usually
time.
rhensn gives me this kind of knowledge, but he's not speaking.
Let me have a little. I'll put something in the chat, although they shouldn't be. They should be focusing on the formation lap.
Yeah, you'd like to think, wouldn't you?
I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, if it's going to be a full wet race the entire time, it's going to be very interesting, because I don't think Lifebout could have done that lap if he has tailored his set to the wet, setup to the wet even, because that is an insane lap. And even I think I did a race yesterday around Brazil, put a wet setup on, and it cost me about 4 or 5 tenths.
Oh wow.
Just in quali, so it definitely hurts you around here. This could be very interesting. Could be very interesting, as Lifebout has got to the grid very early, so he's going to have some. Of course he has. That's a classic sim guy thing to do, as you can see. And our rhensn's punted it into the wall as well. So everyone's struggling a little bit with the conditions already. I have a message.
Saying probably not. It will go to inters though. He's calling. So this could be one of the most chaotic ends to a season I'd have ever seen in my life. But there we go. There's the last couple of drivers just parking up. There's Armour Wild Matt slotting into place as we get ready to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away eventually, and Lifebout does get off to the start that he needed. Mr. Cookie not so much, and that is probably going to... Oh no, he is going to keep position, but Rick's going to go for it early on. He's going to go down the inside there of Lizzie, but Lizzie's going to try and hold position there. The Red Bull also fighting Haas is going too wide, and they're going to continue to go too wide through the long left-hander. Mr. Cookie's round. That pushes Rick up into P2 already, and our rhensn is now going to try and fight the Red Bull. So that is going to allow Rick to hold P2 as these two continue to fight just below. So that is our rhensn up into P3. And it's the 3 for the title up into P1, 2 and 3 respectively. The Red Bull holding off, and does get a bit of a spin on. And just as I say that, does fall down. So that allows Smithy to gain that position along with Hazard. Sim Guy holding P6 as well for now. I think he went too wide into turn 1 with his teammate there. As he got yellow flags in sector 2, that's what most people are slowing down for. But there you go, Lifebout has managed to keep himself in front for now, but Rick with a brilliant recovery first lap.
Yep, I was going to say about people down the field, but I don't think anyone cares at this point. Rick is definitely closing in on Lifebout, so this is going to be a very interesting one. Although, as we said, all Lifebout needs to do is finish P2 actually, because that would be, even if Rick gets fastest lap, that is not enough for the championship. So Lifebout needs a P2, and I imagine will probably have better pace than those behind him, even with a dry setup, because he is keeping the gap to Rick at the moment pretty well. But yeah, elsewhere down the field we've got Smithy and Hazard tucked up behind our rhensn, Sim Guy behind Hazard, and it looks like we've got a bit of movement down the field as Lizzie has got past Armour Wild Matt, and Tommy, Lizzie's teammate, looking to potentially take advantage. Does think about sending one down the inside, but doesn't in the end. And Essex Perry looks like he's holding these boys up a little bit too much than we would like. And Ernie Burney's retired from the stressing. And is that going to be a safety car straight away?
Yeah.
It is a
virtual.
VS.
Yeah, VSC. Just
VSC.
neutralising the grid there. 40% standard race pace. And I'm just trying to check that graph.
The full safety car.
Is it? Oh yeah,
it is. The safety car's coming out. Very interesting. As not an expert on weather of this game, but it does look like it is drying up a little bit. So will be interesting to see if anyone comes in for inters at the moment. But as we'll see, we don't have all the information that the drivers will have, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, it should be pretty good to watch. I'm going to just try and check that thing again because I want to see. I'm pretty certain if Lifebout picks up P2 and then gets either of his 2-point advantages, such as pole or fastest lap, which obviously he has got pole, he still is crowned champion. I imagine. So essentially what happens now is Rick needs to make sure that he picks up Rick needs to pick up the other fastest lap and then hope for Lifebout to take P3 by the looks of it.
Although the thing is, obviously, as we have seen this season, if anyone is going to spin, it is probably Lifebout. He is very prone to a spin, so don't count out a non-top 2 finish for Lifebout just yet. Although he is, I know he is actually very good in the rat. We saw in Portugal, he kind of gapped the field by about 8 seconds in about 5 laps. So we'll have to wait and see. Rick did look like he had good pace as well. And we have had, it looks like, SX Perry, Armworld Matt, Hazard, and Mr. Cookie into the pits for Inters. So as I was saying, it did look a bit drier. So we'll have to see. Although this, as Lifebout said, might be it for now, and it might just stay into conditions. Although the fact that it is drying up leads me to believe that maybe we might get a bit of dry running, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to see it. Other than that, we've got to wait probably another lap for those two to, for everybody to come around and us to get racing once again. So for now, what can you see happening on safety car restart?
Rick will be very aggressive. He needs to get past Lifebout, and he's going to be tucked up right behind him. Lifebout will want to get a good start. It is relatively tricky to follow behind in the wet, especially around some of the tighter, slower speed corners in Brazil. So we'll have to wait and see. But and I also imagine our rhensn will be quite close behind. As you said, it is the top 3 in the championship, literally in championship order. So this is lined up pretty perfectly for a very exciting restart.
Yes. Well, at the moment, as it stands, I'm pretty sure Rick does have fastest lap, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. Mr. Cookie currently holds fastest lap.
No.
So Rick is well and truly out of the championship. But as of right now, Lifebout does win it. Even if Rick does go and pick up fastest lap, Lifebout wins by 2 points. 305 to 303. What needs to happen is Lifebout to fall to P3, and then with that pole position on top, it is then plausible for Rick to win the title. They would be level on points, which would then mean Rick wins because he has more P2s, because they'd have equal wins, which is mental to say the least.
It is mental. If you couldn't get a closer championship, as the safety car is coming in this lap, and we will see who can get a good restart, who might fall back a little bit as Lifebout controls the pace, as it's his prerogative to do so. He can go wherever he wants and go as slow as he wants, and it looks like he's taking a pretty quick pace at the moment. So stretching out the field a little bit as he's gone, and he looks like he has not caught those behind him napping, and it looks like a pretty even restart for everyone.
And by the looks of it, our rhensn had a good look down the inside of Rick there, who defended nicely. Does continue to hold position for P2. The Williams being really fast out of the centre S's, but couldn't quite capitalise on it. So I think it's going to be a little bit later, but that's a big mistake there from Rick, who has managed to hold it. But that means that our rhensn is going to comfortably glide past into P2 here. Our rhensn obviously needs to pick up a win and then just hope for chaos to occur behind him if he wants any chance of winning this championship. But he's doing everything he needs to right now. All he needs to do is catch up to Lifebout, but Rick also right on behind him, proving that he wants that position back very, very quickly. Just behind that as well, I saw Smithy and I'm pretty sure Sim Guy having a good little fight there as Lizzie just joins them behind. Oh, I mean, Rick is right on the back of our rhensn now, isn't he?
is indeed. Although rhensn does look like he has the better straight line speed. Definitely had a go at him into turn 1 and kind of cruise past him into turn 3. So this is going to be tough for Rick to get past. Doesn't get the best exit, has a little wobble, and that's going to ruin that chance. As Lifebout is streaking ahead as rhensn goes a little bit off track. So we'll have to see what Rick can do to get past the Williams ahead of him, who looks like he's pretty slippery in a straight line, much like his real life counterpart.
Oh yeah, that Williams holding position nicely and looking to keep it for now. But yeah, Lifebout already 1.5 seconds in front of everybody else. This is something he is quite good at. Leading at the front of the field, building up a nice big gap, and then just relaxing up at the top, all the way to a cruise home victory. He'll be wanting to replicate that today, and with the amount of pace that he's got at the moment, with a little bit of a wiggle out of that corner, but it is still going to be comfortable for him. I think if this continues, I can't really see anything going wrong for him to win this title, but we've still got 30 laps to go. Anything can happen, as Rick once again in sector 2 keeps gaining time on rhensn, and then you've got sector 1, and he nearly saved it as well, but onto the grass he goes, and I think the pressure has got to him a little bit, and that is desperation beginning to set in already. He's got 30 laps to try and turn it around, but it's going to be one hell of a challenge to do so, and Mr. Cookie is going to be very surprised that he's down here.
Bloody hell, talk about cracking under the pressure. That's a huge moment in this race, because very much doubt we'll have another safety car. Rick looking like he was under attack from Mr. Cookie as well, who looks like he has some good straight line speed. So all that talk of different setup for the race and the wet, the one thing you do need in the wet to overtake a tool is straight line speed. And if Rick has put more wing on, he is not going to have that compared to the guys around him. So he's going to have to make some audacious moves if he wants to work his way back up through the field and hope that someone else punts it into the wall. And he can, as I say that, it looks like Tommy has punted it into the wall and has brought a safety car. So fantastic timing.
This could be Tommy. Good for Rick, I imagine.
Could,
get
although
himself
he's down in P8.
He's obviously down on his time as well, but it's an easy pit stop if he wants to make it, whether it's dry enough for those intermediate tyres. I see a couple of the Inter drivers have been driving pretty well. You've obviously got the Mercedes of Armour Matt up in P6. He is the highest of the intermediate drivers, but I don't know, obviously being in that position now, is it time to gamble? Because sticking on a standard strategy is going to be unlikely to win a championship at this point. So who knows? Maybe he might go for the gamble.
I think he has to. I think that's the only thing he can do. rhensn in the pits, Lifebout has stayed out, which is very interesting. We've had Smithy stay out and quite a few in the pits. So if I was Lifebout, I would have hit there. If everyone else is, he's. I don't know. I think Lifebout's made a mistake there. So these two guys are trading mistakes at the moment, in my opinion, because it looks like it's Inter's.
It does look Inter's weather.
And if Lifebout doesn't pit, and he is be under attack from the Inter runners behind him, and if he does, then he's going to be right down the back of the field, behind even Rick. So yeah. Talk about a twist, couple of twists in a couple of laps.
Well, it doesn't help. Rick's only done it all the way down to if Lifebout gets P5. He wasn't expecting anything less, but what happens if Lifebout's P8 and Rick's P7 or something? I've got no idea.
I think I imagine only 10, so
yeah. I imagine once you get to 1 point, it's basically just a point between them, isn't it? If Rick picks up P7, he gets picked up 13 points. Lifebout gets 12. It's an easy win for Lifebout. But if it went horribly wrong and Rick got a nice good restart, this could be in it for him. Maybe it's not all down and out.
Yeah. I mean, these two are making it the mission to make this as exciting as possible. Lifebout with a strange strategic decision, unless he knows that the rain is not going to ease up. and thinks he can still brave out on wets, which he seemed to think that it wouldn't dry up. So maybe, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. If he did have some pretty good pace on those wets before the safety car, and obviously, as you said, with only 10 drivers, even if he drops to the back of the field, I think if he came P10, I think if I'm correct, then Rick would need to come P4 or higher. So Lifebout can finish last, and Rick still needs to come P4, essentially, with the current point system. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Wow. This could get a whole lot more interesting, but you know what isn't interesting? Sitting behind the safety car. Especially especially when we've got nothing to talk about, like strategy-wise.
Yeah. You think we should be very good at filling under safety cars, but we haven't had that many this year.
No, it's been quiet. Well, by myself, trying to deal with 4 safety cars in one race. I'm impressed at myself. I mean, I was falling asleep, but you know.
Yeah, there were big yawns coming out your mouth.
Oh my god, it was diabolical.
As I imagine the safety car will come in this lap, and it does.
Yes.
But yes, hopefully that will be the last one we have to put up with, because it is a bit of a putting up in the commentary books. And this will be very interesting to see. We've got Mr. Cookie, who is the closest Inter runner behind the top 2. It'll be very interesting to see the pace difference. Mr. Cookie is good in the wet, as we know, so we will have to wait and see. Smithy is really and kind of ruins his own restart a bit there, as Lifebout's got a pretty good jump. Looking down to Rick, who is under attack from I'm a Wild Matt, so definitely didn't get a good restart.
Yeah, well, Mr. Cookie struggled there. I was watching on board with him, and he was ready to go, and Lifebout just decided to hold back for a little bit longer. Our rhensn as well, I was having a lovely little fight with Elysian Simguy, I'm pretty sure, who's now under fire from I'm a Wild Matt. Launches one down the inside. A nice move made there from him. Oh, looking slightly ahead, and Smithy is still keeping on the back of Lifebout at the moment. Mr. Cookie needs to close this gap sooner rather than later, and I mean, it's not looking good for the intermediates at the moment if he can't close the gap to Smithy and Lifebout. I doubt the rain will get much heavier, but he has got our rhensn on his back, just causing him a couple of problems. He's having to defend here, going down round the outside, does the Williams driver. Does so very nicely as well. So that is our rhensn up into P3, and in a great little position for his race, exactly where he'll want to be. Higher, even more so, but just behind the Mercedes, just keeping it in there nicely. As there goes the Haas. That Simguy down the inside of Hazard there. They're going to continue to go though to the line, and no, Simguy does eventually take that position for good. I've got to say, it's a lot harder when there's less drivers on the grid.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot less to look at, but maybe a lot less to talk at. So as the Red Bull of Elizzy has a little moment, squeezes Rick, who looks like he's going to get the move done. But actually, as we were saying before, Rick does not have very good straight line speed at all, which is really not helping him get through this pack. So he was, I imagine, banking on making a few positions up in the first lap of the race, as Elizzy has another moment and Rick just can't get past. So he is losing time more and more every lap to Lifebout, who's looking pretty decent out on those wets. So it might just be that crossover period where both of them can work, as Rick looks like he's got past the Red Bull. Although Elizzy is still up the inside, so it'll be interesting to see. Indeed, as Rick looks like he's got good traction, Elizzy still keeping it around the outside, and Rick just closes him out of space and takes that position. A little bit unfair, but that is racing. As yeah, Lifebout 2.2 ahead, with our rhensn pretty close behind P2 man Smithy at the moment.
Well, Lifebout is just beginning to run away with it. 2.5 seconds already, so, and with the fastest time at 1:20.9 as of right now. It is looking to be a pretty decent little race for him. He just needs to hold out, and if he can continue to extend like this on the full wet tyres, if it does get any drier and he then got switches to intermediates, God knows how fast he's going to be on those. All the other drivers on the inters, and that is another Wild Matt down the inside of Mr. Cookie there. does just about get the move done. Mr. Cookie had a little look on the switchback, but no, didn't pick up anywhere near enough traction to pull it off. And oh, there's Cookie into the wall. He somehow stays racing. God knows how that hasn't taken his front left tyre off, because that was a pretty hard impact.
I was just about to say how little pace Mr. Cookie had. He was squirming about all over the place as he is now with no wing. So yeah, he's shown it for me. Didn't have to say anything. And he is down in P8 with no wing. And I imagine will be under attack by the Haas behind him. But Rick, I do not know what tyre is faster at the moment, because Lifebout is streaking ahead. That being said, Smithy is on the wets as well. So
and our Henson,
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, our Henson is right on the back of Smithy, and with Wild Matt now joining as our Henson, it gets very off course. Somehow manages to keep it all together, and yet our Henson, by the looks of it, is really struggling to get that done. There you go, Rick 119.91, so just over a tenth faster, I'm pretty certain, than Lifebout's fastest time. So maybe those intermediates are beginning to become the faster tyre. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, Smithy doing a great deal of favours for Lifebout's championship right now, and just making it nearly impossible, positioning his car very nicely for our Henson to not get past. There could have been a little opportunity there. Our Henson could have gone down the inside, but no, has decided to stay behind. And that is just opening Wild Matt and Rick into this fight. And I think he is eventually going to go for it. Yes, he is. Down the inside there. Watch on board with the other Mercedes, who's going to try and capitalise on this move. And by the looks of it, he's going to try and go 3 wide. But no, Rick has come and flown round the outside there with a brilliant amount of grip. And I think that's going to leave the Mercedes behind. Oh, Rick gets a little bit leery off of the edge of the corner and is still 3 wide through the left-hander. There goes one Mercedes flying off course. It has to rejoin the track safely, and there we go. Rick does manage to get through, and that is Smithy demoted down to P5. So those full wet tyres finally given in after yeah, some very good side-by-side racing. Intermediates, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know if you just said that, I got very excited. So yeah, he is in the pits and he's in on the intermediates, and it's going to be a ton behind the intermediate runners ahead of him. So this is a, yeah, as we were saying, very strange decision to stay on the wets. He will have fresher tyres. He does have a dry setup on, as we said. It did look like he had good straight line speed, but it is a ton of time to make up. So he's going to have some serious speed from now until the end of the race if he even wants a chance, because he needs, essentially, to get up into P3 at the least. And that is, what's that, 5 positions. So he's going to have to get a move on.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, to be honest. I mean, we've already seen that he is fast as... Oh, I think that's Lizzie there on the inside. Hazard with a brilliant exit out of that corner up into the uphill right. So there you go, Hazard P4. Lifebout, we saw that he did have pace on those wet tyres. He was about 5 seconds in front before he came into the pits. But nevertheless, it's going to be a lot of work to not only find the pace to bring himself back up to the leading group, but to actually get the moves done as well. I mean, as of right now, he's 13 seconds back. This is Lifebout we're talking about, so it's perfectly plausible as Rick just loses out on his fastest lap there on the Wild Map 119.7. It's perfectly possible for Lifebout to gain 13 seconds. He's done it before, he can do it again, but he's got to make those position changes as well. He's got to get overtakes done with those.
Yes, indeed. And
Speaking
Rick
of Rick,
down the inside. Well, Henson makes the move nicely. Henson going to try and get the switchback. Just doesn't have the grip, but does have the straight line speed. Oh. So Rick has got that move done. So that is crucial for his race, as Mr. Cookie sets the fastest lap of the race, although he's in P10, so no one cares. That's crucial for Rick's race. He needed to get that done ASAP. Although if Henson can stay on the back of him, he does have a lot better straight line speed. But it looks like Rick has just got the confidence at the moment. So that, as it looks like Mr. Cookie has retired from the session. And that, I imagine, will be a safety car, and that is music to Lifebout's ears.
Another three safety cars already. Or
Cars.
2 safety cars and a VSC. No, the VSC became a safety car, didn't it?
3 safety cars. I did say we shouldn't have the safety car in standard, and now you see why, because it brings it out for anything that breaks off a car. And there we go, 3 DNFs, 3 safety cars. and we have to fill for a little bit more time. Let's see what the guys do in terms of pitting, as it looks like we've got Armour Wild Matt into the pits for some unknown reason. I imagine maybe putting on another set of inters, as it does look like the rain is drying up even more, so we could very well be going on to dries.
Which would be huge news for Lifebout, very helpful for him, as of course is the safety car as well. With Armour Wild Matt, that Sim Guy, and SX Perry also into the pits, that pushes Lifebout up to P5 now, which just means it's even less of time for things to go wrong. I mean, Lifebout very much once again in with a shout of winning this race by some margin as well.
We'll have to wait and see. He is going to have fresher tyres than those ahead of him, I believe, although that doesn't make as much of a difference in the wets. But yeah, Rick obviously has the advantage that Lifebout had of not having anyone ahead of him, so he can streak clear if he needs to. Lifebout is the one who's going to have to get past, although we will have to see whether or not he can do it. Rick managed to do it after a little bit of huffing and puffing. But yeah, Lifebout is a very good wheel-to-wheel racer, so I imagine will be able to get through, he also has his teammate up there in P3, who I imagine will let him pass straight away. They already have the constructors wrapped up, so that's basically a free position for him. So yeah, this is on a knife edge at the moment, and we're not even halfway through.
Good. Lap 16 of 36, so 21 more to go, which means we're getting close to the halfway mark, but we've still got a couple of laps until we get to that point. That though, I mean, Rick at the moment will continue to lead. We've got another lap of this safety car and then we'll be in. And, well, our rhensn as well, also in a really nice position for him. Obviously, he needs stuff to go wrong. So all he can do is damage limitation, as he is doing at the moment. Hazard as well, in a really nice little position. He'll be most happy if he picks up a podium out of this, but as you said, I imagine he'll be giving it over to his teammates pretty quickly. And then Alizzi as well, not DNF just yet, so his dreams are coming true. We'll just have to wait and see though. And then of course Lifebout in P5, the two Mercedes as well alongside the two Haas cars. So I mean, the Mercedes have been really up and down, haven't they? They've been up in P2, then all the way down to P7 now. Yes.
Yeah, indeed. Those two Mercedes and the Haas behind him are having a strange race. SX Perry has had a few excursions on the grass, I've seen. Sim Guy, I don't even know what he's been doing. Yeah, as you said, the Mercedes up and down, but top three at the moment: Rick, rhensn, and Hazard. As I imagine, the safety car probably won't come in this lap if SX Perry's so far behind, as it looks like it hasn't.
He's staying out.
Staying out, so that does. Oh no, it is coming in.
Is it? Oh god, that's very late for it to call.
As SX Perry has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings under the safety car.
Quality.
Not great from him. Codemaster showing their fantastic code making skills at the moment. And Rick is going to really slow the pack down at the moment. And rhensn, and he looks like he's gone. And Lifebout has got a very good start, although jumped Alizzi and then had to give the place back. And that is going to put him under pressure from Armour Wild Matt. So he'll be able to keep that position. Armour Wild Matt does not take the position, and we will have to see. And
oh, there goes round the Red Bull there. Bit of contact made with Hazard, which actually pushes Armour Wild Matt up into P4 out of that scuffle. So I imagine that must mean that Lifebout had to slow down to avoid any contact.
It did indeed.
And there we go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Hazard, that means that's 1.6 second gap now between Hazard and rhensn, so that gap's beginning to form. Additionally, Armour Wild Matt is just under a second away from Hazard. Is that someone joining the... Hello?
I think that's Mr. Cookie. Has he turned up?
Cookie, hello?
Hello.
Hello, Cookie.
Yeah. Cookie's here.
Well, I had one job to try and get pole and it failed, so...
Yeah.
Welcome home.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, life had a good lap though, so I can't really complain.
There you go.
That's about it.
join us at a very exciting time. Rick is 1.4 clear of rhensn, and Lifebout, with that little bit of bad luck with the Red Bull ahead of him spinning, has dropped back from Armward Matt and Hazard ahead of him as Rick sets the fastest lap of the race. So Lifebout is going to want to get this move done on the Mercedes ASAP. He's not too far behind P2 man. Remember, P2 is pretty much all he needs, and I imagine AlphaTauri of Hazard will let him through whenever he needs. But yeah, he's going to want to make these moves done as quickly as possible as he gets up to speed on these inters.
Yes. Well, are you joining us for the whole race, Cookie, or are you just going to sit and listen?
I was having a little sit and listen. I can chime in maybe once or twice, but yeah, I'm not going to do all too much here. Don't worry.
Right. Well, if that's the case, Rick is currently keeping that distance nicely. So we'll keep off of him for now unless he makes a terrible...
Rick has left
He's left the session.
Oh, what? I think he's had a disconnect.
That's a... oh, no.
No, we're never going to hear the end of it.
Oh,
Jesus.
Let the excuses flood in
Lord,
now.
As our Henson's closing in. Gee, that is possibly the worst timing he has ever had for a disconnect. I dread to think what is going on behind that screen, as Lifebout is not much closer to the two ahead of him, but yeah, Rick managed to set the fastest
Game
lap.
crashed. His game crashed.
His game has crashed. Oh, dearie me.
I mean, he's joined again, so it probably won't be too long.
Joined
He's back
again,
in the
so
car.
he's back in the car just yet. It's still ghosted. Henson is still closing up. I pray he gets in as quickly as possible, because we do not want this championship ruined and even decided by a disconnect, and Henson is going to be able to fly. Oh, he's back in the car, so there we go. He hasn't lost the position, he's just lost about a second.
Yeah. Still not ideal for him, because this now means our Henson can begin to put some pressure on, and if they do slow each other down, that is just going to open the door for Lifebout to come up, try and get a couple of moves in front of him and get himself up into P2, which is basically all he needs with his pole position to win the title. Rick can do nothing if Lifebout finishes P2 or P1. Keep that in mind. P3 with his pole, Rick can finish if he takes fastest lap. I'm pretty certain he can still take the title with fastest lap, but he still needs that fastest lap, and as of right now, I'm pretty certain he does not have it. No, Lifebout has it with a 1:17.447, which is a very decent time for these wet weather conditions. I remember you mentioned, Joe Horse, that the weather is drying up. It is. It's progressively less and less rain. It is still raining though. It's not stopped just yet, but yeah, the rain is definitely getting less and less. So there you go, Rick, fastest first sector.
Yeah, although I would potentially be surprised if maybe we do get any dry spell at the end of this race. Obviously, it is a pretty short track, so those 15 laps that we are looking at as a Lifebout almost loses it. Bloody hell, loses it again. Bloody, he's really pushing to get past this this Mercedes ahead of him, who I didn't even notice has got a 3-second penalty. How crucial is that going to be?
That could be
if we are
huge.
talking about the AlphaTauri ahead of Matt, it's basically a free position for Lifebout. I imagine he'll drop back if he needs to. That is P3, should we call it net, for Lifebout, which is with the fastest lap all that he needs, I think.
I think if Rick doesn't pick up fastest lap and Lifebout finishes P3, he wins.
Okay, so there's a lot of stipulations going on here. Lifebout,
And there goes
does pick up that fastest lap.
16.9, so half a second faster than Lifebout. He put some time into that lap, and you can tell it's 1.8 seconds the gap now, 1.9 seconds to R. Henson. He's completely run away with this as of right now, and he's done so within good reason. He knows that he needs that position more than anybody else, and he's now got the time where he can relax a little bit, and he's got fastest lap. I imagine his goal now, recharge ERS and go again at the end of the race.
Lizzie has left the session, so this is really on a knife edge at the moment, isn't it? Because with that fastest lap, I believe if Lifebout gets P3, which I am expecting him to at the moment, unless he can get past our Henson, that would give Rick the title on wins.
on
No, I'm
P2s.
I'm no.
On P2, sorry, P2s.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Let me just go back because I remember Rick talking about this. Let me have a check.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, bloody hell. Lifebout losing it and going onto the straight beside it. He's lost a good 7/10 there. He has almost thrown that away. Bloody hell, that was close.
Let's check this out straight. Hopefully no other moves happened here. Hold on. Yeah, nothing's gonna happen. So let me just check. If Lifebout gets P3 pole and fast lap, he's actually champion. So yeah, he just needs that P3 really in that fastest lap.
Which currently Rick has by half a second.
That's the problem for him at the moment, especially with that snap. That's not going to do him any good.
No.
Although he has gone and set the fastest first sector, so potentially going for that fastest lap now. He does have a bit of a gap to the guys ahead of him. As Rick
I just want to say,
go ahead, sorry.
I just want to say one thing. Matt is, even though with that 3-second penalty, he's on 3 stops at the moment. He's somehow found his way into P4. So
that's impressive.
Very good job. Very good job.
He's last in the grid as well, so I'll give it to Matt. He's done really well there, but however, Lifebout's run back of him again.
Well, I mean, this is now just watch Lifebout and see what happens. These drivers in front are absolutely crucial as Lifebout once again can't quite stick that final acceleration point of the lap. However, he is going to keep ERS wide open, and there we go. He's going to go for the move down the inside there. He's not going to take fastest lap, but he is going to take that position that he does need. So here we go. We have just going 13 laps remaining. Lifebout P4, Hazard P3. Expect a swap there at some point. The AlphaTauri surely will let him through, because as of right now, Hazard is completely safe in his position. He is not moving. It doesn't matter. I think even if he DNFs, he stays in that position in P4, I'm pretty certain. Yes, in P4, which is why AlphaTauri have won the Constructors so comfortably, currently P1 and P4, but as it stands at the moment, P2 and P4. And well, this AlphaTauri surely will let go at some point, because Lifebout needs to get this move on the Williams. I would say it's a safer bet for Lifebout to get P2 than it is to try and go for fastest lap. Would you agree?
Don't know, because that Williams looked pretty quick in a straight line.
Got a bit of insider news. Hazard is going to let him by on the straight, I'm pretty sure, right now.
I mean, you'd like to think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably the inside here. Yeah,
there we go. 1:16.8.
This is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Rhensn probably, should we say, out the title fight now? It'd be very unlikely that
Rick and Lifebout, need to go into a wall. And with Rick, 2.7 seconds, it's not like they're going to do a Mercedes 2016 and have a go at each other. They're going to have independent crashes at this point, and that is going to be pretty unlikely. But I mean, we saw Lifebout have a bit of a problem. We saw him get a little bit loose. We've already seen Rick get very loose and just about hold on to it. So it's not exactly off the cards. It's just every single second it gets increasingly more unlikely.
Yeah, indeed. This is This is probably the most crucial fight of the... Well, it is definitely the most crucial fight of the entire season. Can Lifebout get past Rhensn in the wet with that very quick Williams in a straight line? This is going to be very interesting to see. Looking at the ERS, Lifebout with probably just about the same amount. Was going to have to really get through some pretty good traction on the corners if he wants to have a go at the Williams on the straight. And you can see the Williams kind of pulling away a little bit on the straight. So if you need a demonstration of how hard it's going to be for Lifebout to get past, then there it is.
I've got to say, I am beginning to my leg is beginning to shake. I'm really.
This is quite exciting.
This is ridiculously exciting.
This couldn't have gone any better.
No.
Lifebout looks like he's picked up a warning there. In fact, that reminds me to have a little look at the warnings.
Yes, check warnings.
Lifebout is on 3 warnings, it says?
The one could be for collisions. Let me have a check. Yeah,
check
one
that.
for a collision,
One for
and then
collision.
2 for track limits. Yeah.
Oh.
So Lifebout's
Rick is
away.
Our rhensn has just gone very slowly out of the corner, which has allowed Lifebout to go through, and that is triple yellows. That is a safety car. Safety car
Lizzie
out due to an Elizzi DNF.
Yeah.
So our rhensn went very slowly there, and that has allowed Lifebout to go through, which means Lifebout is currently P2, which means automatic championship for Lifebout as of right now. And Rick is really not going to be a happy man.
Who's him in the pits?
Oh, he dodged. He faked it.
Nearly. Our Hansen coming into the pits. Hazard coming into the pits. I'm a wild.
Everybody else.
Simcox stays out. Smithy comes in as well. Essex Perry. I don't know what's
Too far back.
That is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know what's
Matt
going
on mediums.
Matt's gone to
on
mediums. That's a bold call.
Bigger gamble.
Now I'm just confused. Because
I
I
mean-
don't know what's up in there. Smithy
I mean,
looks.
yeah, whether
I
it's a
think he's just-
mistake.
No, I thought that's another one of his gambles. He's already had 3 stops and he's been up 6. He may as well try and go for one more little bit here.
Very true.
It's looking. Yeah, this is one of my type of strategies right here. He's gonna get ahead of he's gonna get ahead of Essex Perry actually. He's seen it in box, so I guess it's okay for Matt. But I think there's one thing I've got to take away with this. Rick with 19 lap old intermediate tyres. That is gonna be a stretch and a half. Take to the end.
Yeah, it is Lifebout with. I don't know, I can't see actually. What has he got? I imagine like
He's got
12.
13 lap old.
13 lap. Look at that beautiful guess. Yeah, that's going to be. I imagine we'll probably have the better pace considering what he was talking about his setup. But as we were saying, as we keep saying, Lifebout only needs P2, and he has got a Haas behind him who has been struggling for pace all day long. But the fresh inters of our Henson Hazard, is Matt on mediums? He is. Six Perry. So basically, yeah, Hazard and our Henson are going to be the big threats to the top 2 actually, if we're going to say that, because they're both going to have very, very fresh tyres.
Well, I mean, we've already seen how much our Henson can fight for positions. We know he can. He's got such good straight line speed. You know, for all we know, he could have Sim Guy into turn 1, and he can have Lifebout by the end of that lap. Heck, he could even get himself into the lead of this race quite comfortably, I can imagine.
Obviously,
obviously,
is still technically a championship fight.
he is still in this championship fight. He just needs it to go horribly, horribly wrong for Rick and Lifebout.
And yeah, I mean, I think for one, them being slightly handicapped with the intermediate tyres being about 6 laps older, I think a crash is still not off the cards as well.
No.
Especially in these last laps. So we've just got to see what comes out here. Then there's one more thing I'd like to add with PRL. This is it's a pretty similar situation. So we've got to see now what is going to happen. And Matt, yeah, he's still out on those mediums as well, I like to say.
He's sticking
he's
with it. Sticking with his
he's
guns.
sliding quite a bit, but I don't know if that's going to pay off for him. The safety cars should be in this lap, I'm pretty sure.
Well, then, lads, predictions. Tell me your predictions.
Well,
I feel like as head commentator, I've got to stay impartial.
Oh, you can. No, I'm not saying who you want to win. I'm just saying predictions.
I can see our Henson getting into the lead of this race.
I reckon. Interesting.
Maybe not lap 1, but
oh yeah, go on then, Cookie.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm going to say our Henson will lead. I think Rick will drop back a little bit on his inters, but I think Lifebout will have enough to become champion. Speaking of Rick, he is gone.
he's gone early.
He is indeed. But crucially, Lifebout is not under threat from the Haas behind him, although Sim Guy was shaping up for a move. So yeah, as he's gone a little bit wide, and looks like I'm a Wild Matt is really struggling on those inters, or those mediums even. He wishes they were inters. Imagine that is the end of his race. I guess race. He's going to struggle from now until the end.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty quiet start to that safety car restart. Not that there's many cars to have a chaotic restart. I mean, Lifebout at the moment is sticking at a reasonable distance. It's about 3/4 of a second. That's not moving too much. Our Henson will now just be trying to gain whatever positions he can, maybe on the next straight, and try and capitalise on a Sim Guy mistake if there is one. Sim Guy as well, I mean, he hasn't done too badly after this restart. He's kept himself within a moderate distance. It's 1.2 seconds, the gap now between Sim Guy and Lifebout. So he's not like he's lost too much time. It's pretty much the same as Lifebout and Rick. Our Henson obviously much closer behind on just half a second, and then Hanson also half a second behind. But yeah, I mean, Sim Guy also keeping himself nicely in front as they go. Rick 116.7, faster still. You say these tyres are old, and yet he has gone and got himself another fastest lap.
As indeed, that wet setup is working very well for him, but you can see how much Lifebout closes up on the straights. So that's going to be pretty crucial. He's already down to basically 5/10. Look at that. So he was almost a second behind at the start of the main straight. So that's going to help him a lot to stay within that. Well, he doesn't need to stay within that second, does he? He just needs to come P2 as Sim Guy is dropping back. And obviously, the longer that Sim Guy can hold up our Henson and Hazard, the better for Lifebout, because that is going to put a good old buffer between him and the fresh intermediates behind him, as we are only 6 laps away from the end of this season. Bloody hell, that's crept up on us.
Yeah, I mean, and what a season it's been as well. Whilst it's quiet, we may as well have a little chat about it.
Quiet?
I mean, it's quiet at the moment. No one's going for a move.
Yeah. But yeah.
Jimmy Jags wants our Henson to win. Tommy is calling a major crash between Lifebout and Richard Von Eggles, which I will now forever be calling him. 16-1.
Bloody hell.
Jesus.
And obviously, you've got to think about the kind of mental game that's going on here as the Lifebout's really losing the car around that corner. The mental game is Rick is really... Again, sorry.
I'm really sorry, but Lifebout's got the fastest lap by 4 thousandths.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they are both really pushing it.
They are pushing it, but as I was saying, you've got to think about that mental game. Rick needs that fastest lap point badly. He really needs it. So he's going to have to always Lifebout nearly lose it. Yeah. Rick is going to have to push again, and as you can imagine, pushing is probably the last thing he wants to do right now in these conditions, as he loses it, it almost perfectly demonstrates what I'm talking about. He needs his fastest lap. I'll jump on board with him, see if he sets the fastest sector 2. Lifebout is looking pretty quick behind him as well.
Yeah, fastest sector 2.
Yeah, Lifebout's behind. So
this is going to be very, very close. But Lifebout does not need that fastest lap and doesn't even need to overtake Rick. He just needs to stay where he is. He's only on 2 warnings, was it? So he has to keep it inside the white lines, as Lifebout does it by about 10 hundredths. These guys are so close.
Again.
Oh my
16
god.
thousandths this time.
It's
so
insane.
it's further.
Couldn't be any better. But as I was talking about, Sim Guy is holding up the 2 behind him perfectly for Lifebout. So this is turning into a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you've got these 2 drivers, right? They are going as physically fast as they can. How long is it going to be until one of them makes a mistake?
I mean, who knows? Let's Perry picks up a 3-second. Lifebout, every time I'm on board with him, is right on the edge of losing the car. Pretty good car control. Rick a little bit more composed, maybe more wings, as he was talking about, and does have probably the better pace, we should say, as it looks like he's pulled away from Lifebout on this lap, definitely. But, yeah, this is really interesting. Really, almost loses it. A heart attack every time he does it, as Rick looks like he's on for another fastest lap. Lifebout probably not going to beat this one.
No, we see how quick he is on the straight, so let's just see this.
True. He's not using much of his ERS though, and Rick, yeah, definitely going for that fastest lap.
15.5.
15.6.
Oh, that is fast.
Every single lap that goes down, less and less chance for Lifebout to make a mistake. Although he's giving me a heart attack every time I'm on with him. He's doing his best to throw the car into the wall at the moment. He does not need to be doing. This is exciting.
This is,
Yeah.
I mean, this is some of the most, it's not like close wheel-to-wheel racing, but it almost feels like it just with the sheer intensity these two are driving at. I mean, both of them have every single chance of spinning at the moment and completely wrecking their chances of winning this title. And I mean, it could not go more down to the wire than this, could it? But I mean, out of the two drivers at the moment, Lifebout is looking in the much better position. Rick can be as fast as he wants around this track with a now nearly over 4-second gap between Lifebout and our Henson. We kind of have to exclude Sinbad because of that penalty. It's looking impossible now for our Henson to catch these guys, and it's now completely down to, I mean, Lifebout doesn't really need to go for fastest lap either, does he? He just needs to stay.
I was going to say right now, he's getting quite close.
He's getting close.
Yeah, it's really catching up to Rick. Crucially for him, obviously we're talking about his 2 warnings that he's on. If he gets another warning, he is pretty much safe. It does not look like our Hansen can get past and he's picked up a 3-second penalty. So there you go.
Even now,
so that pretty much rules our Henson out if he ever was in it to begin with. But what is that? 3 laps left.
Yeah.
Lifebout just needs to keep it on the track as Rick has a little wiggle.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he'd win the championship by 1 point to Rick. This is, so it's pretty crazy how he's, I'm pretty sure like it's 1 or 2 points. So yeah, if he did not get pole, then it would be a probably very different situation at the moment. But I believe until Stelly's pushing so hard that fastest lap, but Rick goes through another fastest sector too.
Oh, that was so close.
Lifebout looks like he's pushing to make the move. He doesn't need to do this, but he wants to.
He wants to win, doesn't
maybe he is backing off
he
a little
wants
bit.
to win.
Maybe he is backing up.
I mean, he's keeping close, isn't he?
This could end in tears.
Definitely could have made that move. So a bit of maturity shown from Lifebout there. So fair play to him. That's the dirt. The thing is, the closer he gets, the dirtier the air he's going to be driving through, and the more likely he is to spin.
Yeah.
And if you didn't need any more spice, you have a lapped car, mediums coming up. So that could potentially. I know it's going to
No, it's on intermediates.
On intermediates.
Oh, he's gone back onto inters.
Okay, interesting. So maybe you're not going to get in the way, but yeah, this is really going down to the wire, and that's all Lifebout needs to do is keep it on track.
A lap and a half to go.
And I'm seriously debating whether to come off the onboard with Lifebout because I'm having cardiac arrest every time we go to circle.
Oh god, yeah, I'm just trying to watch on the outside, and there you go, Rick, a 1/10 of a second faster there through sector 2. It's another purple sector 2. He's pushing so desperately hard to try and secure fastest lap because that's all that he can do at this point, unless something goes horribly wrong here on the final lap of BRL Season 3. His Lifebout gets unbearably close to the back of the McLaren, and all could go wrong for both drivers as they now head out to the centre S's and onto the back straight. Lifebout is getting closer and closer and closer, and they're going side by side down into 4, and the McLaren is going to hold position for now, but Lifebout goes to the inside for the switchback move, and they're going to go side by side now uphill to the right hander. They're staying side by side. This is where it could go horribly wrong for either driver. They're staying in it. Rick gets slightly leery. Both drivers stay on track though. It's going to be Rick with the inside line here, and Lifebout will have the inside line on the next left-hander, but no, Rick holds off for now. But I think Lifebout has done everything he needs to, and oh, what a battle that was. A completely unnecessary battle in the eyes of Lifebout, but that's just him wanting to take the win here. The McLaren has done absolutely everything that he can. He's picked up a win. He's picked up a comfortable fastest lap. That's not going to matter as Lifebout gets. Oh, Jesus. It doesn't matter though. He's kept it going in the right direction.
Christ.
The AlphaTauri, he didn't show up for the first half of the season, but he's going to come home and win the World Drivers' Championship for Season 3.
See how that was intense.
Wow.
They made that a lot more exciting than it needed to be. So fair play to both of them. That was incredible. That was really, really good racing, and there's going to be some very interesting interviews. I'm very excited for them.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Lifebout. It's well deserved. Been a bit of a class above in terms of pace, maybe not consistency, but definitely pace all season. And as fantastic comeback. Considering he also missed, I believe he missed the first round.
Yeah, no, he missed the. I'm pretty sure the second round of Bahrain sprint, so he lost out on a few more points there with the sprint race. So, yeah, and I think that was probably one of the most unnecessary final laps, really. But it's made for a very nice one there.
And a double AlphaTauri podium as well.
I mean, the AlphaTauris have had one hell of a day, haven't they? Not only is it a double podium, not only is it a complete runaway in the Constructors' Championship, but Lifebout does come across and, of course, wins the Drivers' Championship. And I must say, it is deserving, isn't it? He's driven fantastically all season long.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, very, very good. Has had his moments of spinning, but has managed to pick it up in the end by what is, I imagine,
2
about
points.
2 points.
Yeah,
2
2
points.
points. Well, here's Rick anyway. It's a consolation victory, really. As there you go. There's the wreath for his victory. I mean, it's a great drive from Rick. He's done really, really well here, but unfortunately, it's only P2 in the championship.
It is so close, but so far as Lifebout has taken it. And I guess we get these guys in for interviews now, don't we?
I think it's only necessary, isn't it?
And Rick is trying to get out of it. Not a chance.
No chance.
I think that's the one thing I've got to say. That's it. That's everything.
Cheers, Cookie.
No. That's just it for F122, isn't it?
That is F122.
It is the last official season
of the game, but that's a nice way to end it, isn't it?
Yeah,
well,
certainly.
I think that might be one of the best laps of F122 as well. I mean, there's not many better laps than that for a final lap.
I didn't want to sound something like Will Buxton there, but I just had to say that is
done.
The end of F122 for us. That's it.
MRLS
We're
F122 is complete.
Well, I mean, thank God, it's absolutely garbage.
I mean, it's an awful game. Yeah, it's a dreadful game. Let's not be reminiscent about it.
Yeah.
Just wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
I think we should get our rhensn in the interviews as well. Why not?
I mean, yeah, he's finished P3 in the championship, hasn't he? Like,
yes, indeed.
That'll be a chance for me to leave. Actually, that is. I know the question to be asked, so it's not going to. I won't talk much.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, hello, Izzy. I didn't even see Lizzie in there. I didn't actually think you joined.
You in it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's 3 for 3 now, let's go. I think that's a world record. Gotta be.
I mean, I didn't even race one of them. I could beat that, mate.
Chat with the owner.
Actually, no, I didn't know.
Wow.
We didn't race 2 of them. Beat that. I was commentating 2 of them, and then the third one I've just crashed out of.
Chat with the owner, everybody. How exciting!
Oh.
Yeah, we'll speak to him after our podium positions and our rhensn. As Rick is looking very depressed at the moment.
He is, but he has two trophies in his name.
I mean, yeah, he's picked up decent.
Oh no!
Losing 2 championships in 2 days.
Oh dear.
Wow.
That is. I imagine we're going to have. That's given Lifebout ammunition for the next probably 7 months.
Yeah,
which is probably
just going to go.
Not good for the rest of the league.
Attack.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be a nightmare. Whoever won.
Yeah.
So
well, we've got another member inside the commentary box. It's an rhensn. Rhensn, how are you?
Hello. I don't really know, to be honest. I couldn't have expected to get top 2 like normal, so I should have got 3rd, but I messed it up.
Well, nevertheless, it is still P3 in the driver's standings. Are you happy with that result?
Yeah, I thought Mr. Cookie would beat me, but then he kept spinning. So
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
I can't drive in the wet. I don't know what it is.
me and Mr. Cookie, every season I've had a good battle for third. So at the start of the season and after like 5 races, I thought it would have kept that way, but no, it didn't.
Yeah, it just fell apart. Can't say much else really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
this isn't more about everyone else. I'm not really meant to be here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did still participate in the race, didn't you?
Nah, I guess so, but I'm not deserving of being here really for an interview.
Get out.
Well, I mean,
Lifebout.
other than that, rhensn, just I mean, throughout the entire season, it's been very consistent results for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I still haven't got a DNF. I'm always consistent. I'm never that fast, but I can stick it on third or fourth most races.
Are you looking forward to going into the new season in F123?
I'll try and get third again. So
You're quite good at getting.
actually, I'll probably
aren't
be
you?
fourth with J Halls. J Halls is rejoining, so I'll probably be fourth.
He didn't tell me that.
I am.
Right, pack your bags, everyone. It's no chance of championship.
I'm gonna cry.
I mean, I know. I mean, I will, Carter, if you want to offer some kind of monetary price, we'll happily stay up here.
Oh, I
Is it
don't get
Carter?
paid
I
either,
mean-
so
Yeah, I know you
can
don't
go.
get paid, but maybe
You
if you
can
pay
go.
me, then we'll see what happens.
Carter, remember Abu Dhabi season 2? We don't want that again. Please,
Oh, God.
pay him some more money.
Oh,
I
that
do.
was
I
a
do.
dull race.
I would love that. It wasn't for me. I had a great time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Right, well, shall we now talk to Mr. Unfortunate? Rick, how are you?
I don't want.
You don't want to
Nah,
chat?
it's okay. It's okay. Congrats, Lifebout.
I mean, talk us through the race, because it was a really, really strong race from you, wasn't it?
Yeah, put on a wet setup, which meant poor qualifying. Then, obviously, great start. Got into P2. Restart, basically stuffed that up and got back to third. Then spun, safety car. So went to Inters and then stayed out for the rest of the race. And had more pace than essentially everyone.
Well, I mean, other than that, it was a strong race, and it's been a strong season for you, hasn't it? You've come home and picked up a lot of P2 finishes, and then of course this is now 3 wins. Overall, obviously you haven't quite snatched a championship, but are you happy with the improvements from season 2?
Yeah, I think there's a few big mistakes, but not many mistakes. Like last season.
Other than that, would you like to give us your 3-word season roundup? Rick. Hello?
He's run out of words.
He's run away.
Can I go? That's it.
3-word season roundup, and then you can go.
Yeah. Okay. God. Could have been better.
Could have been better. Well, nevertheless, still P2. At least you're keeping it consistent and getting 2 P2s in a row. Other than that, congratulations on a fantastic season and condolences on the loss. And we'll see you for F123. Right. Shall we have a little shall we have a little bit of a chat with a slightly special man? He's come home only to win BRL Season 3 Lifebout. How are you feeling?
Very good. That was not hard, not easy, but we did it.
Oh, I mean, talk us through the race.
Well, I mean, quali went well. I got pole by like 4th, so that was good. And I put on like a semi-wet setup, but I went for more of a dry setup because I didn't think it would rain for the whole race. And then the start was good. Was in the lead for like the first 10 laps. Then I kind of bought a strategy from the wet to inters, but then another safety car saved me, and then I just overtook one or two cars. I mean, rhensn and Hazard just let me go. So I guess I got back to P2, and then another safety car came out, and basically stayed in P2 until the end. Had a battle with Rick on the last lap as well, which was nice.
I mean,
And that's it, I guess.
overall, I do want to ask the final lap. What were you doing trying to fight Rick, even though you had the championship wrapped up? Because I think all of us in the commentary box thought you were a little bit insane for doing that.
I tried to make it entertaining, you know. It was quite a boring race, to be honest.
You had us terrified.
But yeah, it was. When I saw Rick, almost pushed me off the track. I just gave up after that. So.
I mean, other than that, it's been a near perfect season for you, hasn't it? I mean, picking up a nice amount of race wins and some really good positions. Overall, you must be really happy with the season.
Yeah, after I think I was like 40 points behind the lead at one point. So yeah, that was a big comeback and good season.
Other than that, J Horse.
I think that thank God your driving's better than your microphone because my ears really hurt.
Well, other than that,
I think it's all good.
Would you like to give your 3-word season roundup?
Big championship comeback.
Big championship comeback. Well, congratulations on winning the championship. It has been fantastic watching you drive. It's been absolutely sublime.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just wanted to say congratulations. It's been really fantastic.
Thank you. And thank you also for commentating the GOAT.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
No. Right. Well, I thought that we'd have a chat with one more person who's been a little bit more distant than usual, hasn't he, Sim Guy?
Oh,
Remember Hazard?
Do we have one
Don't
more?
forget about
It's Hazard here. Oh, hi, Hazard.
We've had P3 sat in the whole time.
I can't lie. I kind of forgot our Henson wasn't P3. Hazard, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well.
How did that
Bottom
race
to
go?
bottom there, but I didn't really realise I'd got a podium until like the very end. But I think after our Henson got the penalty, there was a chance, and I'm just happy I took it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, AlphaTauri, happily constructors, and now you've obviously got your driver. Are you happy with how the season's gone with you?
Yeah, I think I'm glad I took P4 off the end of Mr. Cookie in the drivers, even though he sort of threw it away. But yeah, big improvement from last season.
I mean, overall, it was a really good race for you, actually. You've been up and down all over the race that time, but you know what? Casual P3. Other than that, I mean, what would be your highlight of the season?
Oh, I think this probably tops it, you know?
P3.
Podium.
Nice
Yeah.
little podium position. Would you like to give your 3-word season roundup?
Steve the dog, as always.
Mate, I can't escape. I can't escape. I can't escape. I literally said before they all joined, I'll leave if this ever happens, and it just bloody come up again.
So not only have you been attacked for losing out P4, you've now been Steve the Dogged. How does that make you feel?
Fine, I guess. I can't really think.
Well, nevertheless, congratulations on a lovely podium position, and we look forward to seeing you in F123.
Thanks.
Alrighty. Well, before my memory was rejogged, I was gonna have a little chat with the owner. Sim Guy, how are you?
Hello, not too bad yourself?
Ain't too bad, ain't too bad. Well, I mean, talk us through the season from your perspective.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's been up and down personally for me because obviously being busy with work and just not being at home much in the evenings to be able to get to race. Really gutted because I do feel like if I'd had a bit more practice, I probably could have taken the title charge to Rick and Lifebout. But it just wasn't meant to be. Midweek is looking a bit tricky for me personally when it comes to racing, but it is what it is. But yeah, the league, cool, it's been up and down. Obviously, I think congratulations to Lifebout for winning the championship by not a lot. Obviously missing the first race or two. So really good job to come back and win from missing two races. Congratulations to Rick as well. He's had a phenomenal season. He's been Mr. Consistent in that top five nearly every race I think it is. So consistency is key. He didn't actually win a race until only a few races ago. So it just goes to show that you know you don't have to win a race to win a championship. But it does help. Um, but yeah, it's been a good season. Apart from obviously F1 being as terrible as it is, this game is obviously EA and Codemasters had a big job on their hands to get this game sorted for the new era of cars. And they've done a pretty shocking job. But hopefully the new game will bring a bit more. We'll make it. I don't know. Maybe we'll feel that it's a bit easier. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good season. Been an up and down season. We've had lots of tests throughout the season. But yeah, no, it's been. I think it's been a fun season all round. Really, I think no one's really done anything massively unsporting like. And everyone seems to have had a really good time this season, which is great. Which is fantastic for BRL, which is what I've been trying to achieve for a while. Obviously, we enjoyed the first season in BRL itself, but yeah, the MRLS league server is coming good. We've got two great co-owners in Jay Hawes and Rick running their own leagues, and also not just them running their leagues, but also we've. I can't speak for the other two leagues because I'm not really involved with it that much, but I know that in my league, I just want to say a massive thank you to all the admin team and the stewards. That goes, all the admin team, that's including Rick and Jay Hawes. Everyone has run my league for me, because I've just been very unavailable. And it's been in great hands. I don't feel like I've needed to be here. I think it's actually quite a running joke that I only show up once a week, and which is great for me, and it's a great feeling because we've all built this. I'm not saying I've built this league because we've all built this league, and we've all built this server to be what it is. And I'm very proud of where it is now, and also what we plan to do for the future. We're just going to keep improving and keep just make it better, really. But yeah, and obviously massive thank you to Carter and Jay Hawes and the rest of the commentary team. But specifically Carter for BRL, giving up your time to do this on Wednesday nights just to commentate and not to race yourself. I think is a massive. Oh, handsome. Is a massive benefit to our league, and I think everyone wants me to stop talking now. So looks like it in the chat, but I might just keep on talking just to annoy everyone.
I don't blame
But
you.
no, massive thank you. BRL podcast. I think we should do that actually.
That would be quality.
On a Thursday night, maybe a BRL podcast. That would be great. Great idea.
Lovely.
PRL's on Thursday, mate.
Yeah. Friday night. That's what I meant.
Friday night, yeah, of course. Friday. How could I forget?
Of course.
Oh, I mean,
But, yeah.
I'd say thank you very much. There's very kind words for you, and I just want to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you for helping build such an amazing league for us to all race on. I know attendance wasn't great today, but overall it's been absolutely fantastic, and everybody's been keen to race. And even if you haven't been here, you've at least built the foundations to give us this brilliant racing platform. I mean, other than that, is there any big announcements we can see for season 4?
Season 4, no, I don't think so. We're gonna go into the new game. We haven't really got anything planned as of yet. For like big announcements wise, maybe a few more sprint races. They've been extremely entertaining. It's just how we go about doing that with qualifying, and I think it's been I think the 3 sprint races that we have had, obviously being reverse grid for the sprints, they've been massively entertaining. So maybe a few more of them, maybe in a 15 race calendar, maybe we could do 5. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the new game is like. But in the interim, between now and the new game being released, we're gonna be doing an F2. This is all still in the works, but we still need to talk about it properly. We're going to be doing an F2 championship, and I want to get like a F2 championship 5-lapper, which has always been quite fun. Damage off. There's still rules, but damage off. There's no stewards. That's always quite good fun. And then I don't know, maybe an F122 race around Monaco, or whatever we can think of really, or yeah, we'll see what happens.
Just some fun until we
Yeah.
come around to the F123 game.
Yeah, I think it's quite a general consensus that no one really wants to be doing this, be racing on this game, on the F1 cars, because it's just awful. It's so difficult. It's just the handling, everything about it is just so difficult.
Yeah.
But not just that, it's the lobbies. It's a lot of people lagging out or leaving the game unintentionally. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the next game for sure.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I think it's about time, J Horse, that we round out the season.
God, yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say that it has been probably one of the I'd say the most intense BRL season we've had to date, with an actual title fight going down to the line, courtesy of you not being here. But I couldn't believe that you haven't told me that you were going back.
Well, I didn't want to break your little heart. I am going back, but you know, I'll see if I can maybe get someone in to replace you. Maybe Cookie wants to jump in.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'll see how the game is. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's anything like this, I just want one more suggestion. Can we just go back to F1 2021 or something?
That'd be cool.
Can we just do that for a whole season?
I think if everyone still has the game, yeah, that could be an option. I mean, I know I'm bloody quick on that, so I'm happy with that.
Tell me, I was going to say, if F1 23 is just like this game, can we just do that?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe we'll do one season of F1 23 and then assess it from there, just so we get one season done on the new game. But yeah, if it's as bad, then I think 21 is possibly an option. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I didn't actually think it would be.
yeah. Let's say back in December, when we were getting ourselves underway, there was BRL predictions. I
Oh,
thought
God.
I'd read a couple of these to you. So Rick called himself to win the championship with that Sim guy in P2, our Henson P3, Mr. Cookie P4, and Bluebird P5. Most people actually call. We've got an AlphaTauri to win the championship, McLaren P2, so that was correct. But I just wanted to say congratulations to Lifebout that got the top 2 correct, as well as the top 2 constructors. I don't know about the rest of them. I haven't really paid as much attention to that, but I mean there's some bold moves here. And Sim Guy, had you have shown up, a lot of people were calling you to do some results. J Horse said you were on to win it. Smithy P2.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, I know.
True.
I did feel confident at the start of the. Well, I did. I won the first two races.
Yeah, first 2.
First 2. I didn't win the sprint at Bahrain, but I won the main race. I won Australia and I won the main race of was it Australia? Yeah, Australia and Bahrain. And then it kind of went downhill from there.
I still feel like you had something against me in that first 2 races. Oh my god. I still remember them.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was just trying to make sure that I got my elbows out and everyone knew that I was there for the season, but I wasn't there for the season.
Fair enough, mate.
Well, on that note, I think it's about time that we finish this up. On behalf of myself and J Horse, thank you all very, very much for joining us for 15 rounds of pure chaos. And thank you to other commentators such as Mr. Cookie for being an absolute unit and stepping up when needed. Other than
I've
that,
tried everything. I've tried everything at this point.
Other than that, I've been the Characteristics. He's been J Horse. Congratulations to Lifebout for winning the BRL Championship in Season 3. And we very much look forward to seeing you for Season 4